Please start.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you to the Minister for making himself available today, and really appreciate your time here today. Obviously, this government has done a lot of work in terms of reducing the structural deficit. I mean, this government inherited the world's largest sub-sovereign debt, and obviously that's come under some pressure right now with what's happening with the COVID crisis. So given the need for government support over the next uncertain amount of time and this challenging time, are you confident or are you worried about the ability to rein in the deficit after this crisis is over?
Thanks to the MPP from Oakville for that important question. I think, through the actions of this government, helped put Ontario back on a stable financial footing. And I think that is something that people have come to appreciate the importance of, because, one of the very important reasons, whether it's your household or your business or a government, that we need to behave responsibly fiscally is that so we have the resources in times of crisis to be able to respond. And so COVID-19 has been that crisis, and the provincial government has been able to respond with a number of the measures that we've talked about in detail today. That has been at the expense of a higher deficit. We were, as the members of this committee will know, on track to balancing the budget, and now the deficit we project in excess of $20 billion. And we have seen, again, this is the impact around governments around Canada and around the world globally, that people are putting the resources and the spending in place to protect health and safety and to get economies going. All of us will need to look to the impacts of that once we are through this crisis. Clearly, in the long term, it's essential that Ontario maintain the stable financial situation that has put it in its position to respond to this crisis. The previous government left a considerable record debts, $355 billion, as the member pointed out, the largest sub-sovereign debt in the world. And so that was the starting point, and that's why we were working our way back to balance. But the reality right now is that the focus of this government is going to be on making sure the resources are in place from a healthcare perspective, from a jobs and recovery perspective, from a people and businesses perspective. By getting those things right, by making sure we secure people's confidence with regards to our ability to respond to COVID-19, by supporting businesses in cooperation with the federal and local governments, by supporting people in cooperation with the local and the federal governments, we will get the confidence back to be able to have the kind of growth that is going to be so essential to dealing with the long-term fiscal stability of the province.